Feels like a comedy situation here. All right, what can we talk about?
Hey, talk
about directing. Yes. Don John's Addiction is awesome.
Thank you.
A lot of people haven't seen it yet.
Don John, it's called now.
Yeah, you changed it. Really special movie.
Thanks.
So what was that experience like, and do you want to do more directing?
Yeah, I love it. You know, there's so much that goes into the filmmaking process, and the truth is that any actor's performance in a movie is a collaboration between the actor as well as the director and the editor and the cinematographer and everyone else. And that's why it's so important, and I feel so lucky to have worked with so many directors that I can really trust and who make movies that I feel are really great. But I also wanted to tell this story. I think it's a story that I feel, you know, very close to, about how different kinds of media affect the way we treat each other, and so I wanted to tell the story. And if you're really gonna be the one telling the story that you've got up in your head, you gotta have control over all of these different facets of the filmmaking process. And so I wanted to direct, and I've made lots of little short films and videos over the last 10 or so years, hundreds of them, and I felt I was ready to give it a shot.
What director inspires you?
Thank you.
What director inspires you?
Well, the directors that have inspired me the most are the directors I've been lucky enough to work with. You know, we shot Don John in 2012, and in 2011 I acted in 3 movies. First for Rian Johnson, then for Christopher Nolan, and then for Steven Spielberg. And just getting to be on set with those guys and ask them questions, and all 3 of them were extremely supportive and encouraging. That I think was probably the most inspiring thing. I could talk about plenty of other movies, like Hal Ashby movies or Mike Nichols movies or Quentin Tarantino movies or Stanley Kubrick movies or Coen Brothers or any number of other movies that I'm just a fan of. And those are, inspiring in a different way. But getting to actually work with some filmmakers who I think are some of the best alive is huge for me. And I don't know if I would have felt so confident in doing it myself if I hadn't had that experience.
How challenging is it to direct yourself?
Yeah, a lot of actors, and I know because I felt this when I was younger, it can be awkward to see your own face or hear your own voice. But like I said, I've been doing it now for 10 some years. For my 21st birthday, I got myself my first copy of Final Cut Pro, video editing software. And since then, I've just been making little things, and oftentimes, of myself. And I think just over time, I got used to the sight of my own face and used to the sound of my own voice. And so it got to the point where I could be objective. And I really liked directing from the vantage point of acting, because that's the point of view that I'm accustomed to on a set. I feel like I can tell best if a take is working from within the take. And the few moments of the movie that I wasn't in, where I was sort of behind the camera and watching the actors do what they were doing, I felt less in control. I felt less in touch with what was going on, just because it's not what I'm used to.
As a director, you have to know so much about current technology and formats and everything else. How do you, as an actor, A, have time to do that research? B, how do you know, because I'm trying to direct now too. And
Cool.
And I find myself just totally paralyzed by all the options. How do you kind of just raise a fist, make a decision, and go with it? And what are you shooting on?
We shot on 35mm film, which I wanted to do because it's, I think what I grew up on, and I think it's beautiful, and I still don't think there's any real parallel to it, even though I think a lot of the digital cameras nowadays, whether it's, a Canon 5D or an Arri Alexa, make beautiful images, and there's beautiful movies being made with those cameras. There's still nothing like celluloid yet. But as far as, if you're directing, I would say, sure, it's good to have some measure of knowledge of stuff like that, but also, you can't do everything yourself. A big part of directing is surrounding yourself with people that you trust and who have strengths that you don't have. And so, if you don't, if you feel like there's gaps in your knowledge of just of the technical formats and stuff, my recommendation would be, all right, so find a DP who knows. Because ultimately what directing a film comes down to is having something genuine to say, and if you have something genuine to say, don't let the technical details get in the way of you saying it, whether that means you make a movie on 35mm film or you make a movie on the camera you're holding right now. I would say go do it.
What advice do you have for young filmmakers?
Just that, do it, make something. Don't wait. You don't have to move to Hollywood, you don't have to get an agent, you don't have to, you don't have to get the golden phone call. Fuck all that. What's really important is that you make stuff and start with something. Another piece of advice I would say is start small. Make a 30-second movie, and then make a 2-minute movie, and then make a 5-minute movie, and then make a 10-minute movie. And that you can't do it too much. That your experience will only help you. So just keep doing it, and you'll know when it's time to like make a feature film. But that doesn't have to be right away.
See yourself as a
That's it, guys.
This is the most fun part. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.